You don't just notice things, you track them. Patterns, contradictions, energy shifts no one else even registers. You can sit in a room full of people and feel like the only one who sees what's actually happening. And if you've ever felt like you're playing a role, like you've learned how to act normal instead of just being, then this isn't random. This is a pattern. You are hyper aware. Your mind doesn't skim the surface, it dives. Your default mode network keeps you in constant reflection. Your amygdala is tuned to emotional detail. So while others move fast, you move deep. And that depth creates habits, not random behaviors, but common traits almost every hyper-aware man develops over time. Here are 10 of those habits. 1. You replay conversations until they lose meaning. It starts small. You leave a conversation, and your brain says, review it. At first it feels useful. You catch details. You refine your understanding. You learn. But then it goes further. You begin isolating moments. That one sentence. That one look. That slight hesitation. You slow it down. You dissect it. You attach meaning. Then you question that meaning. Then you rebuild it again. And again. Hours later, you're still there. Not because the moment mattered that much, but because your brain refuses to leave anything unresolved. What's really happening? You're trying to create certainty in something that was never meant to be fully understood. The hidden cost? You don't process and move on. You get stuck trying to perfect something that already passed. 2. You turn every decision into a long-term simulation. A simple choice is never simple. It branches. If I say this, they might respond like that, which could lead to this dynamic, which could affect this long-term outcome. You don't just decide, you forecast. You run mental simulations like a strategist, and in many ways, that's power. You avoid obvious mistakes. You see consequences early, but then it escalates. You start accounting for variables you can't control. Other people's moods, timing, unpredictable reactions. So your brain keeps adding layers until the decision feels too complex to execute. What's really happening? You're trying to eliminate uncertainty before moving. The hidden cost? You delay action waiting for a clarity that only action can create. 3. You read people with precision, but trust them less because of it. You can sense when something is off instantly. Someone says, I'm good, but their tone drops half a second too early. Someone agrees with you, but their body pulls back. You notice, and once you notice, you can't unsee it. So you build quiet conclusions. They're not being honest. They're unsure. They're pulling away. And often, you're right. But here's where it shifts. Because you've seen enough inconsistencies, you start expecting them. So instead of staying open, you become guarded early. You distance yourself before anything is confirmed. What's really happening? Your pattern recognition becomes predictive defense. The hidden cost? You protect yourself from potential disappointment, but also block real connection. 4. You feel disconnected from surface-level masculinity. You've tried to engage the jokes, the competition, the shallow conversations, but something always feels off, like everyone is operating on a script you can see through. You hear the words, but you're more aware of the intent behind them. Status, validation, ego. So you struggle to stay engaged, not because you think you're above it, but because it doesn't stimulate you. You want conversations that go somewhere, that reveal something, that mean something. So you either go quiet, or you adapt and perform. What's really happening? Your need for depth clashes with environments built on simplicity. The hidden cost? You start feeling like you don't belong anywhere fully. 5. You take on emotional weight that was never yours. You don't just observe emotions, but you absorb them. Someone is anxious. You feel it. Someone is off. You carry it. Someone is holding back. You adjust to it. Without realizing it, you start managing the room. You choose your words carefully. You soften your tone. You avoid triggering tension. You become controlled, not for yourself, but for everyone else. What's really happening? Your awareness turns into emotional responsibility. The hidden cost? You become drained. from carrying what you never created. Here's the shift most men like you never make. Awareness feels like control, but it isn't. Because if you're always analyzing, but rarely acting, then your mind is in charge, not you. And that comes at a cost. Missed chances, delayed growth, silent frustration. So if you're ready to take that control back, type this: I move with clarity, not perfection, clarity. 6. You over-explain to control a perception. You don't just want to be heard, you want to be understood accurately. So you expand, you add context, you explain your intent, you clarify what you didn't mean. Because you've already imagined how your words could be misinterpreted. So you try to close every gap. But in doing that, you shift your communication from direct to defensive, from confident to careful. What's really happening? You're trying to manage how others perceive you in real time. The hidden cost? You lose presence. And people feel uncertainty, even when your message is valid. 7. You avoid conflict because you see too many angles. Conflict to you is rarely black and white. You see your side, but you also see theirs, their upbringing, their intention, their reasoning. So when tension rises, your mind starts balancing. Maybe they didn't mean it like that. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this isn't worth it. So instead of standing firm, you soften, you redirect, you let things slide. What's really happening? Your empathy overrides your assertion. The hidden cost? You slowly train people to overlook your boundaries. 8. You experience life through observation, not immersion. Even in good moments, there's distance. You're there. But part of you is watching, analyzing the dynamic, predicting the outcome, noticing subtle changes. You turn real-time experiences into mental notes. This won't last. This is different. This feels important. You're aware of the moment, but not fully inside it. What's really happening? Your mind prioritizes interpretation over presence. The hidden cost? You miss the raw, unfiltered experience of life. 9. You struggle to fully back your own choices. You make logical decisions, well thought out ones, but your mind keeps searching. Is this the best option? What if there's something better? What if this backfires later? So even after deciding, you hesitate internally. You stay half committed. What's really happening? Your brain keeps scanning for better alternatives, even after the decision is made. The hidden cost? You lose momentum, and without momentum, nothing builds. 10. You feel everything intensely, but express selectively. Your inner world is rich. You feel deeply. You care deeply. You understand deeply. But expression? That's filtered. You measure what you show. You reduce intensity. You keep things controlled, because you've seen how people react to depth, confusion, discomfort, distance. So you adapt. You keep most of it internal. What's really happening? You protect your depth by limiting its exposure. The hidden cost? You move through life partially unseen. So the goal isn't to lose this awareness, it's to direct it. Now here are some actionable roadmaps you can follow. 1. Set an exit point for thought. Awareness without limits becomes looping. Decide, then move. 2. Prioritize action over analysis. Speed creates clarity, not the other way around. 3. Separate observation from responsibility. Just because you see it doesn't mean you have to carry it. 4. Train presence daily. Pull yourself back to your body, to your breath, to now. There's a version of you who still sees everything but chooses what matters, who understands people but doesn't lose himself in them, who thinks deeply but moves decisively. That man isn't less aware. He's in command of it. And once you reach that point, you stop feeling like an outsider in your own life. You stop observing from a distance. You step in fully. This is where it changes.